filters because it's a really nice production and song, and I want to dig in what they did and maybe why, talk about some choices and look into sounds and build it for ourselves. I hope I will say something you don't know or something you didn't expect it, or I hope I learn you something, but we'll see. Okay, let's open the project. What's the most important here is that you listen super carefully to the song, and constantly when you're listening, trying to separate all the things you hear in the song, and after a separation, like what do I hear? I hear drums. What sort of drums? Try to isolate them in your head and treat them as apart things. Okay, let's start. I can't play the original for you. They would delete my video. So what I want you to do is open a second window with Spotify or YouTube and play the original, so you can listen A/B to my version and the original, and we can learn from listening. Okay, let's go. Okay, what do you hear in the start of the song? There are a couple of elements you immediately can separate. The piano is a really big part. And what they did with the piano is they have a really beautiful piano. I think it's a contact library or maybe a real one. But what they did is they have a lot of octaves and third. 3 octaves and 1/3, and that's really common in pop music to only use the root note and the third as harmonic structure. Okay, they start with that and with a lot of another little sounds to make it more complex. Okay, what they did with the piano was at the beginning they cut some of the low end and a lot from the high end, so it's like a buried piano. It sounds like far away but close because it's hard. I think they did that with the auto filter, and with the new functions of the auto filter they have a little bit of a drive, saturated compression, and then they put the resonance a little bit up, so you get a more open, more going sound from beginning to the end of the 4 bars. Okay, so you have a really beautiful piano with 2 filters, a little bit of compression, and the octaves and third. Okay, let's go to the next one. Next sound is flute, a simple sample flute that plays the lead melody on a high octave. And also they have used the same filtering as on the piano, so it comes up in frequency. Next, they use a really nice sort of chimes. I don't know what it's called, but it's like when a drummer has a lot of steel hanging things and you go over it, and then use some of Ableton warp. Then I use some of Ableton's warp functions to make it a bit longer, so it becomes a sort of a looped sample you can use, and it gives high end in the intro. So when the piano is away, or the high end of the piano is away, it gives some nice sparkling high end. I think that's why they use it. Okay, the next thing I did was I sing a little in the microphone. You can see it here. Then I used that to make sort of the sample I thought I hear. Afterwards, when you listen really closely, there's like some noise from the piano or the vocal mic, but it sounds really like there's some stuff. So that's literally what I did. I take my camera, I go around some stuff, you can see it, and record that, warp that in Ableton, and use the super nice Ableton built-in pitch function to get it sort of in the right shape. And with EQing, you get very closely to the original sound, but it's super difficult because I think they use also random samples. Which they find they sound nice, but yeah, it all depends on the moment. Okay, together it sounds like this, and all together it sounds like this. I think we came really closer. Okay, then what's super important here is this sort of transition only works if there is literally no sound left from part A when you get to part B. So at the end of part A, everything goes on mute. There is no reverb tail or decay, release, delay, or something else. It's just quiet. So if I mute all the tracks, or here, so, and now it's quiet. Okay, sorry, I forgot the sub bass, but you get the point. These transitions are super cool, but only if it's really a contrast. Okay, what happened is we are going to a simple kick snap, synth first, and the synth is the unisynth that I use is a Tal unisynth. It is a free plugin. It's super nice. Tal, Let's talk chords now. Okay. The first chord is a C, C sharp, F minor 7. So it's like in your right hand you have a F minor 7, and the bass is a C sharp. Okay. It's a C sharp, F minor 7. So you get that chord, but they don't. Sorry, it's a little bit. They don't use it in the position I was using it. So maybe they. You can play with the position of the notes in your right hand, so you get the best. So you get the closest to closer. Then it's C minor with augmented fifth and D sharp in the bass. Okay, so you got C minor, augmented fifth, D in the bass, D sharp. Then we are going, in essence, back to the first chord, but with another bass note, F. Okay, so we are getting F minor 7 with an, and of course also here you can play with the position of your right hand. And the fourth chord is we're going back to the second chord. So in essence you have 3 chords and they are switching between them. Okay, so you get something like this. Sorry. So you get something like this. Can play. Like every drum sample I used, it comes from Machine 2. I really love Machine 2. You should love it all also. Only the snap I sampled from the original because I think they have recorded it themselves, and it's super difficult to get a sound like that without being them, because they have a room, they have a sort of a mic, they have fingers that are different than mine. So I can sit and watch and take hours to make that, or I can just sample the song. So I did that. Okay, further, there is some sort of super cheap ass guitar sound coming in, and yeah, it's just Ableton's guitar sound, and it is super cheap ass, but it works and it is cool. Then the piano comes in. Actually, it's sort of the same filter sweep as in the intro. It comes up, and in the pre-chorus it is fully on. In the pre-chorus there's also, if you listen very closely, there is a sort of violin pad. So I brought in a violin. It's like one note or something. And there is a sub bass, which I brought in only in the pre-chorus. But when I heard that, I was like, whoa, this is so nice. This must be in the... This also must be underneath the sound. So I copied it and I placed it under the sound, so it has more low end. Okay, then I want to talk about the sound they use as a lead sound, because I find it difficult to zoom in on what I hear. So what I found was it's like a sort of a flute sound with a vocal sample. So what I did is first I made a flute sound, and a flute sound is a synthesized flute sound in essence is a noise generator with a bandpass filter with a really high resonance. So you get a note. Okay, I will make a simple flute sound for you on the screen now, so you can see how it works. I will do it in silence. Okay, where we were, oh yeah, we were. Okay. Okay, here I use my voice. Oh no, where's my voice? Ah. Okay, I have like recorded my voice several times to use it in a sampler. This is the same flute sound as I talked earlier about. And what they did is they put a really high level of saturation and overdrive just to get that high end out of the flute sound, that more like synth lead high end, and then compress it. This is more like the low part of the flute, and what I did here was this is just flute sound octave higher. This is my voice, and it works because they are not on the exact same timing. They're just off, so you get and that's nice because it works with the beat. You get more like okay. And another thing I want to talk about is these noise sweeps. Sorry, not these. It's these aren't they? Because at first I heard these, I was like, oh, what's going on? Because noise sweeps are most of the times just noise with a simple filter and go. But this sounds more complex. And I thought this sounds like there are more noise sweeps together with a delay or something. But no, I thought this can be easier. Maybe if we use an EQ to literally draw more noise sweeps at the same time, and then with a macro make them all move at once. So this is just white noise with an EQ on it. But I thought that this is a really nice idea for making noise sweeps. Just not at the typical way. So you can do all sort of things with this. And you can do even more spikes in the EQ. So you get a really spacey sound. Okay, that's cool. That's one thing I learned from that. Then about the master track, a little bit about the master track, because I think that's sort of important. Okay, I'll on my master track I have put the vintage exciter from Aphex just to give it some more high end like the original track. I know it's not the good exercise, but I need just to sound a little bit like the original, and I don't know what they did with mastering. Then a little bit compression, not too much, but I like to give it some more attack, especially the drums and the kick. Sounds well. Okay, then I put a Sender Stereo from Waze. This is such a nice plugin. It just makes everything a little bit wider. Things that are wide, you can just push the volume on them, so your whole track becomes wider sides. Then the Ulti-Maximizer, one of the best mastering plugins for limiting. It's like you don't hear it much, but it pushes your whole track to a higher level. So the files of this project you can download in the description. Okay, that was it for today. If you have questions, please ask them, and don't forget to subscribe and like. If you like my music, go to SoundCloud and go to Faddis Beats. SoundCloud.com/FaddisBeats. Really nice. Okay, see you there and see you next time.